So, a very warm welcome from Vienna. It's 7 p.m. here in the capital city of Austria. And I'm welcoming you once again to a live chat with me, Alexander Linz, on Watch Advisor on YouTube. So, I hope you have some questions for me and I'm ready to answer them. And yeah, let's see if there is already someone. It's good to have you, people. Fantastic. Yeah, so far, the year 2020 has started. I've been to Dubai, and in Dubai, I've discovered the novelties of the LVMH group, and probably you've seen the videos of Bulgari, you've seen the video of Zenit, and also the one of Hublot. Then I just posted yesterday the newest video of the James Bond Seamaster Edition 2020 for the next movie that will be in the cinemas, I think, starting from the 3rd of April. So these were the first watches I was able to discover, and I think the year 2020 will bring some more surprises than this, of course. Let me see. Oh, wow. Now everybody's joining in. Okan Köppel, hello. Junior Johnson, hello. How much does the watch brands pay your what? On average, they don't pay me anything. Emanuel Straulat from Romania, welcome. Emanuel, do you expect a significant renew of the Speedmaster Pro soon? Carlos is asking. Then Dustin von Patten, hello from Tacoma, Washington in the United States. A very warm welcome from Vienna, Austria. Hello from Canada. Hello, Alexander. Viele Grüße aus der Schweiz. Yes, can go. Greg Smith. Will Omega make a 50-year Snoopy since it will be 50 years in April? Okay, let's go one by one. Will Omega probably renew the Speedmaster Pro soon? That could be the case, but I'm not so sure, because they are launching now the 321 movement, and with the 321 movement in the Speedmaster, I think they are launching an Icon. And last year was the year of the Speedmaster, so I'm not so sure if they are really pushing that that model. But the other question coming from Greg Smith, who asks, will Omega make a 50-year Snoopy? I hope so. If they don't do, I will have to talk a serious word with Jean-Claude Monachon. I really hope so that they do. And I have the first one. I did not get the second one. I was sleeping, yeah, like Snoopy on the dial. I just missed it, and when I was convinced I should have it, it was too late. So I will probably then want to have the next one, of course. Yeah, you will continue to ask me, blah, blah, blah. How do you make a living? I will not answer these questions. How we earn our money. I think this is not that's nothing a subject we shall discuss here. Sorry for this, my friend. How many kilometers I run a day, depending on the weather and my condition and my mood. When I go running, normally I do that for about 10 to 14 kilometers. Hello from Dubai. I was in Dubai recently, and I really enjoyed your city very much. Unfortunately, we had the baddest weather ever. Even your people there in Dubai told me that they have never encountered such a horrible weather. They needed heating in their houses and so on, and it was really horrible. But besides this, your city is beautiful. Will you, Lana, Grüße aus Frankfurt, freu dich zu sehen. Yes, greetings back to Frankfurt, of course. What are my expectations for Rolex this year? This is a good question. I think we will see a renewed Explorer series or Explorer collection, because if we go in the past, and we think about, they have been renewing now all their sport watches, and the Explorer is the only one that has not been renewed. The only problem is if they are going to renew that Explorer, and the Explorer will then feature the same GMT movement as the GMT does, then there will be even more shortage on that movement, because this movement is really the bottleneck, and not only this movement, but the movements for their sport watches is the bottleneck for Rolex in the moment, and this is why they are not able to manufacture more watches and to deliver more watches. Let me quickly go there. Will you review micro brands? Yes, I plan to do this during the year. Of course, it is worth doing it. I have been reviewing Moser, as you know. I will do some work with Max Büsse, MB&F, and others. I very much enjoy Ressence, what Benoit Mintiens is doing. So I think we will see more of them. And I plan to do an inside reportage of Greubel and Force. I was planning to do that already last year, but we weren't able time-wise to do it. What have we here? With the ETA crunch, do you think Tudor will put their smaller cost movement into the... yeah, I think concerning Tudor and the development there, you know that Tudor and Chanel both are Kenissi. They have bought a company, or they are building up a company that is called Kenissi now. They are moving out from Geneva location and are relocating everything to Le Locle in Switzerland. They're building a big manufacturer there for their proper movements, and I assume that Tudor very soon will exclusively feature only in-house movements, and that they will continue to cooperate, of course, with Breitling, and to get the Breitling chronograph movement and change the escapement, because you all know that in the Breitling chronograph there is no silicone hairspring, but in the Tudor watches there is a silicone hairspring. Vice versa, the movements that Breitling gets from Kenissi or from Tudor, they don't have a silicone hairspring. So yes, I think so. This is highly probable that they're going to do this. Hello, Alexander from New Jersey, United States. Any tips on how to make a good deal and reduce the price when you're buying a luxury watch? A good deal. Go on the secondary market. There are so many good certified pre-owned watches on the market. If you're looking for a pre-owned watch, a certified pre-owned watch, you can't do anything wrong, because the watch will have header control, will feature a guarantee, and you will buy only the same like if you would buy a used car from a certified retailer or your own car dealer that is dealing with with the brand. So certified pre-owned is a good guess for me if you are trying to make some savings, and there are a lot of watches on the markets. People try to sell their watches and get some money, and so this is a good guess, I would say. What do you think about Parmigiani Fleurier as a quality watch company? Only the best in my eyes. The only problem they have, they are almost unknown, and their communication is very bad. And yeah, it's difficult. If you don't know the brand, it's difficult to know the brand, because they're almost not present, and their communication, as I just said, I believe myself, is horrible. But the brand itself is good. The design is particular, and the quality of their movements and what they're doing is fantastic, since they do almost everything in-house. The verticalization is phenomenal. At the Parmigiani Group has from cases to dials to all the screws, etc., to the movements, they do almost everything in-house. And with the fact that they are partnering with La Montre Hermès, they are also being delivered some exclusive straps from La Montre Hermès, from Hermès in Paris. And so this brand is really cool. What do you think? Was ist die Relevanz of Omega Deville Hour Vision Annual Calendar Limited? This is a question coming from someone in Germany asking me what I think about the Omega Deville Hour Vision Annual Calendar. Honestly, I like any of those annual calendars very much, because they are basically delivering to a correct date for 1 year, and the only adjustment you have to make is end of February. if you want to buy it or not in 18 karat gold, this is a question you will have to answer to yourself, because I will never wear an 18 karat gold watch if I can avoid it. I always try to get steel or titanium, but I try to refuse to buy gold as much as I can. So I would not buy a gold watch, but this is my personal opinion. And if they would sell, if I could get it in steel, I would prefer steel. Yeah, then someone asks me, what do I think of all these Omega limited editions? Isn't that a little bit counterproductive? Yes, as you might have seen the latest video concerning the Bond edition, they are now stopping, or they have started to stop the limited editions, and it's the first Omega Bond watch that is not limited, and I think this is a right step. And I just wrote in one of the comments to the video, I would say the more noble and the more elegant limitation would be to not limit a watch, and to limit the watch by production, as it will be the case with the new 321 chronograph movement. That watch will be limited to about 1,000 pieces per year, because Omega will not be able to manufacture more than those. So limiting generally is, for me, something that looks, I don't like it. Anyhow, I prefer to have a not limited edition and a limitation by natural causes, like simply a brand not being able to manufacture more of those. What is your opinion on Nomos looks, the strength of Nomos and the company Nomos? Honestly speaking, is a still a very much underestimated brand. The brand is located in Germany, in Glashütte, and the integration of what they are able to do so far has gone very far. They are producing their own movements. They are producing almost the entire watch in-house, and the quality you get is very good. And what you also get is a very, very unique design that is almost not changing over the years. And so it is probably a watch that will keep its style and keep its look for a very long time. I would always buy a Nomos if you are comparing the watch to some watches that look equally or similar. I would probably go for the Nomos. If this was the answer for your question, I am more than happy. Alexander Dustin von Patten says, writes here, Alexander, you're making great content. Enjoy very much. Keep up the great work. That's the purpose of me being here. We are trying really to push this channel, Watch Advisor on YouTube, to become the #1 channel concerning watches. As you all know, there are some other big players out there. They all have their particular style and their particular way of doing their channel. I have developed mine with my cameraman Jorge Oswald and my editor in person, and with our investors here at Watch Advisor, and we are developing our style. And I think a good mixture out of good information, being the first and not taking life too seriously, meaning that I always try to being ready to make a joke or to joke around a little bit. I think this is what you guys want, and that's what you deserve. You deserve right information. You deserve correct information, but on the other hand side, it's entertaining, and we're not talking about serious business. It's everything. Even now, you sitting in front of your screens, me sitting here in front of that little camera. We're doing things we like to do, and it's not about anything we need, essentially. So it should be fun, it should be entertaining, and it should be easygoing. And this is the way I want to see the things, also in the discussions and so on. So please, everyone who is now maybe thinking about writing a comment, always think that it should be, entertaining end of the day and not too serious. It's not about death and life. It's not about surviving and something like this. It's just watches. It's our hobby. So take it easy. Let me scroll back. I don't like this comment. I don't like this comment stuff here because it's always moving when I'm still answering a question. Do you think all the LVMH watches look the same right now? A little maybe, but I think this will change now. And I think especially Bulgari does not look like the others, but I think Zenit will a little bit fade out of the, let's say, more Hublot look again and come back with some more authentic and more Zenit look, I'm sure. And that this was a development that maybe helped the brand a little bit in the beginning to get more attention, but now I think it's the brand anyhow is mature enough. I'm talking about Zenit. Zenit is mature enough to be more authentic and more to have more a standalone design. Greetings from Dallas, Texas. Greetings back from Vienna, Austria. Hello from Canada. Oh yes, Ray Au. Greetings back, of course. Do you see the trend of vintage reeditions losing steam or continuing in 2020? I personally think the trend of reeditions would continue very strong. First of all, it's cool, people like it, and second of all, there's a lack in new design, and there's a lack in innovation in terms of design. In the moment, I don't see any new big design coming from any side. The latest really cool and really, let's say, design that convinced me to say wow was the one of the Octo Finissimo. That's really a particular watch, and it shows because the success of the watch is there. But besides this, it's really very difficult to say and to guess in the moment which brand is coming out with a new particular design or doing some bringing in some new styles. I don't see any. So brands are very much focusing and concentrating on what they're used to do and what they can do best. And yes, by doing some re-editions, watches that were popular in the past, I think they're doing the right thing because people like it. And honestly, if I think about those watches and if it's a good re-edition, I prefer to buy the new one than to have the old one, because probably with the old one you will encounter some problems with that you wouldn't have with the new one, because the new one will be perfectly waterproof, shock resistant, and so on. And the old one the vintage one could, in case of it's humid, it's dusty, whatever, cause you some problems. Could be, must not, but it could be. So, this is a good question. Basilis Casimidis is asking me here in German. What do I think about the new Chopard Alpine Eagle? I have already said this before. In theory, I like the watch, but only in theory, since I personally think the watch is too small. They should have made a much bigger version, and the watches that are on the market today probably are perfectly fitting on a women's wrist, but I don't think that a watch as it is conceived to be a sport watch should be so small. And I don't think it's, Vasily said, it's a copy of the Piaget Polo. I don't think so. I think it's a generic or unoriginal design that comes from Chopard, because there was a watch called St. Moritz in the past, and they just did a re-edition. They've been doing a re-edition of it. In terms of haptics and quality, as always, Chopard is doing a great job. Movement-wise, you have to really say chapeau, raise your hat. What Chopard is doing in terms of design, you either like it or don't. Tastes are different, but haptics of the watch are great. They use a very special steel, anti-allergic steel coming from Böhler in Austria. That's a manufacturer that is also the same manufacturer that is delivering the steel to Rolex. And yeah, the watch is a cool watch, but for me, simply too small. Do you think that Rolex will renew the Milgauss? Yes, they should do a 15,000 Gauss to compete with Rolex, probably. Yes, I assume they're doing it. There were rumors already last year that they are going probably to stop manufacturing the old Milgauss. And as you know, the watch is on the market for a couple of years now, and it is one of those, still one of those models like the Explorer that should be renewed, I think, in the future. And it probably, if Rolex is doing it, they will come and probably bring out something that will compete more with those 15,000 Gauss. The Omega Master Chronometer certified watches offer. Meanwhile, what do you think of the Grand Seiko? The Grand Seiko is, yeah, what do I think about Grand Seiko? I still think it's very much unknown and underestimated on our markets. This is due to the, let's say, very decent and very noble communication the Japanese are doing, and they should be more courageous and probably speak out louder what they're able to do and bring more watches to the market and be a little bit more aggressive in their communication. And generally, I think that you get a lot of value for your money, and these watches, besides the fact that they are not Swiss made, are simply gorgeous. Favorite car company? Ha 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 ha. Jai Sri Ram. My favorite car company is Audi. I am a big fan of the 5-cylinder Audi engine, and yes, I am a big fan of Audi, I have to admit. And if it's not a German car, I am a big fan of Alfa Romeo. So there you go. Do you see a trend for smaller watches? Yes and no. In re-editions, and if it comes, if it is about to be an authentic, I think the smaller sizes will come to the markets. If it is about new watches, I am not convinced, and I think sizes in between 39 and 41 millimeters will still be the majority. Probably by making the watches thinner, and this is a trend we already have for a couple of years now. Those watches even look more elegant on your wrist, but sizes will stay. It's simply something we've learned all the years. We've just been talking about cars. Look at cars, how they have increased in sizes. If you compare a car from the 70s to a car from the year 2000, or from the year now, from production now, the year from the car from the 70s looks like I don't know, like a Matchbox car besides. So I think we're getting used to bigger sizes in everything we're having, and I think the wrist, the size of our watches and the wrists will stay around 40 millimeters. But this is my personal opinion. Do you think Patek will ever update 215 PS Petite Seconde to be larger? I don't know, honestly. I have no idea. Patek is following a very conservative strategy when it comes to their collections. I wouldn't dare to guess if they're doing it, but probably would make sense, yes, that they increase some of their sizes. And Thierry Stern has been doing this with quite some success. He has been increasing some of the sizes, but I don't know if they are touching all of their collection. Hello from Atlanta, Nolan Reed. Yes, welcome, and welcome from Vienna, Austria. Alexander, how likely it is that Omega will build the famous will build in the famous helium escape? Well, Michael is asking. Honestly, the famous helium escape valve is so much part of the design of the Seamaster today that I doubt they're going to do it, because it's simply got it. Meanwhile, no one needs it. Yeah, that's the first thing we have to keep in mind, because I don't think anyone buying such a watch will ever come into a situation to be in a underwater habitat where he probably is in a helium atmosphere, and he will need that during the decompression phase. So Dekompressionsphase, how you say that in English? Yeah, the phase when you are going up, when you stayed underwater for a long time. So I personally think, anyhow, it's part of design of the watch, and integrating it, I don't think they're going to do that. Nolan Reed, do you think in-house movements get too much credit when they are heavily based on long existing designs? Long existing designs, what do you mean? Design of the movement or design of the case? Can you, would you be so kind and precise the question? Generally speaking, wait, where is that question? I hate, sorry guys, I hate this live chat. When you scroll, you lose. Yeah, here we are. Here I am again. You're losing the comment you were talking about. Generally speaking, in-house movements should never get enough credit because it's something I very much like, and the trend will stay there. Even the Swatch Group brands are now buying specially designed movements from their mother company ETA, and they are blocking or they are reserving those developments for them. So I think it is a trend we can't stop anymore, and those brands are still fitting in just, let's say, average ETA, not average in sense of quality, but average in sense of quantities made, and watches offered by ETA or Sellita. Those brands will anyhow never move forward in a sense. They will always stay there where they are to be a kind of a marketing brand. So to distinguish or to be distinguished more from another brand, you need also a movement. It's not only the design that can do it. Is there a Finnish loudspeaker behind you? A Genelec? Yes, there is a Genelec loudspeaker behind me. Michael Freeland, you're really spying into my office. Yes, I have Genelecs in my office because I'm a big fan of music, and very often I listen to music and I enjoy a good sound, and those Genelecs really, oh my goodness, you can forget everything else. Once you ever heard a Genelec loudspeaker, those reference loudspeakers that are used in production studios, you will never ever touch anything else than this. Oh my goodness. Oh, I should have covered this. Incredible. Hello, Alexander. Do you have any idea how much discount I can expect on a new Omega Seamaster 300 diamond in an official boutique? Zero, I would expect, because I don't know, maybe 1 or 2%. I don't know what they're giving, but on an official base, there is no discount in a boutique. Any thoughts on the Omega Speedmaster getting more and more expensive, starting from the 50th anniversary and the latest 3-to-1 limited edition? Great content. By the way, quite enjoy all your videos. Sunil P is asking, yes, thoughts about Omega. Yes, Omega probably in the next years, since if we are following what Rolex is doing, Rolex has been increasing the prices, and Rolex is moving upwards in the segment, and Omega is following behind, and this will also be the reason, in my personal opinion, why Longines will follow Omega in the segment just underneath, and we will see some changes also at Longines, meaning that Longines will fill up some of the space Omega left over with watches that probably will come out of the re-edition of their heritage, more heritage pieces, probably also equipped with, maybe in the future, a new in-house movement that is specially produced for Longines. So Longines will fill up some space that Omega left over, and I think the entire brand Omega, with the quality that the brand meanwhile is delivering with its fantastic master chronometer certified movements and the quality in general, the brand will move up a little bit after following Rolex, and Rolex is moving up also. So I think there is some movement, there are some moves going on, and underneath of Longines, probably there will be Mido, Certina, Hamilton following, but I see some movement upwards that will come in the next time. And concerning the 3-to-1, yes, the watch is expensive, but if you once have the time, and if you once take some time and you look what they have been doing with that chronograph movement, you will understand the price. And if you will have the watch in your hands, and if you feel the haptics of that bracelet and everything, this watch is really worth the money they're asking for. And in my personal opinion, the new Omega Speedmaster with the in-house 3-to-1 movement is the real cool and absolutely understated chronograph to have on your wrist. It's not as loud and not shouting out as a Daytona, and only those who will probably know what you're wearing will then say, oh wow, that's the 3-to-1 and it's really the watch to have on your wrist. Just my 2 cents. What is next here? What watch comes to your mind as a nice ladies watch for 15 to 20,000? Carlos is asking, a nice ladies watch for 15 to 20,000. Wow, you can choose a lot of watches. Nice lady watch, depending what the lady wants to do with the watch. If she wants to wear a more elegant watch, or she is willing, or she's looking for a watch that she will wear 24/7, 365 days. Depending on all these criteria, I would say with that amount of money, you can walk into a watch dealer or a jeweler and really take some look on a lot of brands, starting, of course, with Rolex. You can have a look at Breguet, you can have a look at Blancpain, also at Omega, and many, many more brands that offer a stunning quality for the price. And I think you will easily find something, also depending on the material, if it's gold, steel gold, if it's steel with diamonds, or steel gold with diamonds, and so on. First of all, please, you should define what the purpose, or what, not the purpose, but what the lady that will wear the watch wants. If it is a watch that she will wear any day or all day long, it should be a metal bracelet, of course, and not a leather strap, because the leather strap, once it gets wet, is probably not looking as beautiful as it was before. Then the Okan couple is asking me how though I like the Big Bang Blue. Not bad. Blue Shirt Buddha. Hello, Alexander from New York City. Hey, good to have you back. Then did Watch Geek is asking me, did you get any info on the Zenith Primero 38mm with the fin case? If you remember our conversation about the topic, yes. I have been asking them, but I didn't get any clear answer yet. I don't think this is a watch we're going to see in the next future, meaning in the next year, but they are aware of the fact that they should probably go back and push this design a little bit more. Are you familiar with Ming watches? Dustin from Patton is asking, not very much. I know that there is a friend of mine involved. A friend of mine who lives here in Vienna. I'm not very much up to date what they're doing. This is something we could probably have a closer look at by a video. And then we could continue the discussion here. So there are greetings from Nepal. Bash, hey, that's cool. Someone from Nepal is also here. Hello from Vienna. That's very cool. That's very cool. What is your most favorite watch ever? Mine is either the Rolex Sky Dweller or the Cartier Tank. Pavel Podlezak is asking me, my favorite watch ever is the Omega Speedmaster. I said this before. It was the watch, the very first watch I bought for money I earned. And until today, I'm collecting Speedmasters, and it's the entire story is so cool. And I'm a big fan of the Omega Speedmaster, I have to admit. and naming a second watch will be very difficult. But probably second brand, difficult. I couldn't say. There are many brands that I like very much, but really my favorite watch is the Omega Speedmaster. Yeah, keep it. Let's keep it that way. Do you think, Larry is asking me, do you think it was a good idea for Patek Philippe to change the quality label Poisson de Genève to Poisson, to the Geneva, to the Patek hallmark? This is something that was done already a couple of years ago, and since today, I think no one ever complained about the fact that they are doing their in-house control. It's like Jaeger-LeCoultre doing the same, where with their master control. If you're taking it seriously and if you're not cheating on your clients, you can of course do your own quality control. And we have to say one thing: Patek went out of the Poisson de Genève when it was, let's say, pretty easy and not very challenging for the brands to get the Poisson de Genève anyhow. And only then it was Vacheron Constantin who very much pushed and changed the entire system of the Poisson de Genève. And the Poisson de Genève, as we are having it today, is not comparable to what we had years ago when Patek left to introduce their own Patek Philippe seal. And I think the family Stern is by no means cheating on they are not cheating on the customers, and if they are taking it seriously and they are doing it, so it's not a problem, and it's in their own proper interest to test the watches correctly before you buy them. So I don't see it as a problem, honestly. Yep. Do you have any Basel World predictions? First thing I hope is that we are getting rid of the coronavirus, because already the Swatch Group has cancelled their presentation in March called Time to Move. It was cancelled yesterday officially. So Time to Move will not be held in Zurich in March. This was the alternative show of the Swatch Group instead of being in Basel due to the coronavirus. And I very much hope, and this is something I really hope from my heart, that this will stop very quickly, and that everybody who is involved fighting the coronavirus will be successfully around the world, not only in China, but around the world, that we can stop this, and for the good sake of everyone, and that we can come back to normality, that people can travel again, that the Chinese can travel again, enjoy their lives, come here, enjoy Europe, enjoy wherever they go, spend their money, that we can go everywhere. And it will very much depend on all these facts, if Basel will be there or not, in case this virus will explode dramatically. I think the only thing they can do is there will be probably no Basel. And predictions for Basel, I have no idea. We saw the Basel has shrunk pretty much. So the first watches from LVMH we already saw in Dubai. Rolex, I said it's probably the Explorer that will be shown, maybe the Milgauss. With Chopin, I have seen some watches already. I'm not allowed to talk about them. There's still an embargo on it. I assume that Tag Heuer will come out with a new connected watch in Basel. That's what I heard. And then, Patek, no idea what they're going to bring. This is always a secret. You don't get any information at all. And then, there's Tudor. I have no idea what Tudor is going to do. And we will see. Will be difficult. I don't have any predictions at all for Basel. The only thing I really hope is that they don't have to cancel it due to the coronavirus. What did you do as a profession before you founded Watch Advisor? Oh, good question. I'm working now for almost 30 years as a watch journalist. I started to be, after my studies at the Vienna University, I started to develop a store here in Vienna with a famous jeweler. I was introduced to him, and I started my career as being, first of all, the partner of a jeweler here in Vienna called Herbert Schulin, and I introduced a shop in the center of Vienna called Schulin Uhren im Loshaus. I was the store manager there for a couple of years. And I then quit my job with Schulin because I was not because I wasn't happy. In contrary, Herbert Schulin was the best boss I ever had. It was my last boss, I also have to say, because then I got independent. But Herbert Schulin is such a nice and such a friendly and humble guy, and I really have to say, and I wish he could look and watch right now. And I have to say, he was the best boss I ever had. I quit because I was fed up with being all day in the same location all day, coming in from 10 o'clock to 7 o'clock in the evening, always be in the same place, and I wanted to get out of it. And when I quit to be the store manager, and we had brand, at Schulin, I was selling Rolex, Patek, I was selling Jaeger-LeCoultre, IWC, we were selling Breitling and many more brands. So I really got into the business, and I learned the business from scratch. I started writing, and when I started writing, I got involved with a newspaper here in Austria called Die Presse, and I was for 22 years writing all the articles concerning watches in Die Presse. I started to introduce that what we call the election of the watch of the year with Die Presse. And then I was introduced to some of the special interest magazines as the Armbanduhren magazine of Peter Braun, and then later with Chronos. And I started to work with them for many, many years. I also got very early online in 1999. I started with the IWC Schaffhausen online forum. I introduced the idea to the former CEO Michael Saab at the time being that he should probably implement a discussion forum on his website. And this is when he asked me if I wanted to be the moderator of the IWC forum. And maybe some of you saw me already there being the moderator. And then I started with Time Zone very early. Yes, as I told you, I worked with the Ebner Group in Ulm, Germany, with Chronos magazine. And then I started my first blog. It was called Watch Insider with the Ebner Group. I was very early adapting not only pictures, but then recording with a tape recorder and bringing the voices or doing interviews so people could listen to the voices and having pictures. And then the next logical step was, of course, to melt pictures and the voice. And then we started with Watch Advisor, with the website, and then with YouTube, and here I am. But my career now for about 30 years is being in the watch industry as a journalist, writing about watches, commenting, doing presentations, moderations, also consulting, and so on. And yeah, that's what I was doing for the almost now 30 last years. Okay, I hope I answered the question correctly for you. There we go. So many questions and I'm talking too much. Let's hope that the update of the Rolex Explorer would mean a 36mm case like that. Oh my goodness, I don't know. All the watches Rolex has been redesigning didn't change so much in size, so probably this will be the case. What do you expect from Tudor this year? Will they prolong their P1 nightmare? I don't know. It is so difficult to guess what Tudor is doing because we have been surprised also the last years by them, and nobody would have expected that they come out with that P01. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. A new 1016 like Explorer would be so great, especially with a painted dial and numerals. I know. It's also very difficult to say what Rolex is going to do, and it's just a guess. Please don't quote me. I don't know it because it's a guess. Because if we're looking into the Rolex collection, we've been seeing them renewing the entire collection so far, and only the Explorer is left over. So I probably would guess this could be it this year, but you don't know. What's my the McEnroe asked me what's my opinion on Panerai watches. I can only say the best in terms of quality, in terms of design, in terms of being authentic to the roots and continuing by doing what they have ever been doing best is being Panerai. Those watches now, meanwhile, do all have an in-house movement. Yeah, and the quality, yeah, it's perfect. You can't say anything else than this. The thing is, you need to like them. You need to like to design, and of course, these watches are pretty big. Of course, they do have some smaller sizes now that are, as I learned, are particularly popular with women, and this is surprisingly, I didn't expect that, but those smaller 38 millimeter Panerais are very popular with women, and this is pretty surprising. But besides this, it's a very cool brand. And if you have the wrist, and if your wrist is big enough to wear such a watch, go for it. You are not doing anything wrong, in my opinion. Foki P. Alexander, I like your work and I'm always looking forward to see the next video. I have a question. Do we see the standard Omega Speedmaster with 3861 in the future? Yeah, good question. As you know, they are renewing the Speedmaster movements to become also Master Chronometer certified. And I don't know exactly in which direction they are going to develop that Speedmaster, in sense of, are they going to keep one model left with the old, originally Lemania designed and manufactured movement to keep one authentic piece in the collection, or are they going to renew the entire collection with the Master Chronometer certified one? I don't know. I think they don't know themselves either. If I would be Omega, I would keep the original Moon watch with the old Lemania movement in my collection for those who want to buy it. Also with the plastic glass on it instead of a sapphire glass. But this is only me saying it. But I would keep that icon as it is, and wouldn't be so difficult to have it. But we will see. Hello from Copenhagen. Yes, hello from Vienna. Are there any new complications on the horizon? Greg Nelson is asking, any new complications on the horizon? Honestly speaking, no, I don't have. I haven't heard anything. What I am expecting is that probably some new escapements could come along in the next years, especially then in 2020. What is it, 21, I think, when the patents on the silicone hairsprings will finally be available for all the others. But on new complications, no, I don't think that there are big things to be invented. Everything is there. But as we saw this year with that, last year with that phenomenal perpetual calendar from Vacheron Constantin, that is able by changing the speed of the escapement to keep to be that you, by slowing it down. Jesus Christ, I was looking for the word slowing it down. By slowing it down, so you can put it apart, and the watch will run for, I think, 3 months. This are always small innovations that will continue to be presented in the future. But I don't see any big complications or new developments coming in the nearest future. Tony Lee says, Alexander, do you like the draft punk, and what of the watch you would... do you like the Daft Punk, and what type of watch would they wear? I don't understand that question. Love your channel and the fun you bring to your interviews. Yes, Tony, I didn't get that question. I have to apologize. Maybe you can precise it again and ask me again. Luca Sarche says, hello from Schaffhausen, hello from Vienna. H. Moser, Dustin van Patten. H. Moser, Streamliner, a great collaboration. Do you think 2020 will be a decade of independent collaboration watches? Yeah, why not? By concentrating forces, probably they will all be better than if they are on the markets competing each other with prices and developments they in the end can't pay off because they are so expensive. If you imagine that it costs some millions of Swiss francs, and if you're doing a serious development, maybe it will be 5 years of development time to manufacture and to develop first, to conceive, develop, prototype, and then to go into a serial production of a chronograph movement. That is a fortune, a nightmare to do. And it costs a lot of money, and we're talking about of some 3 to 5 million Swiss francs to develop such a movement. This is quite a lot of money, and if you are a small brand, it's very, very difficult that you can afford this and to do this. So I would say collaborations would make sense, and I hope that they're doing this. Yes, Eon Robson, decompression phase. Yes, decompression phase was the word I was looking first. Thank you very much. Herb says, I like the intro to your new Omega Bond video. It's so cool. The Omega CEO is fun like that and not super serious at all time. It is the Omega Vice President, Jean-Claude Monachon, I was in the video with. And yes, Jean-Claude, yeah, he immediately accepted our idea that I created with my cameraman, with Jorge. During breakfast, we were sitting and drinking our coffee. Normally in the morning, we don't talk too much because we are both kind of silent people in the morning, but all of a sudden we started talking. We thought, oh, we should do something, and we were quickly grabbing our smartphones, looking to some of the videos on YouTube about Bond and what happened, and we immediately came over Mr. Blofeld and his cat, and I said, this is the scene we have to we have to use for that introduction. Yeah, it was an idea, and I see people like it, and I think we are going to continue doing some of these fun in the future. Then I am in Duong Lee Son asks me, I'm interested into the survey results which you asked about alternative choices versus Rolex sport watches. I made my choice and I will do it again if Rolex did not change the situation in 2020. Let's see what 2020 will bring. Rolex is still very much suffering and is not able so far to deliver the quantities they need on the markets. And we will see how they are going to be, how the situation will evolve in the next weeks, months, and this year. I hope for all of you who are waiting for one of your favorite models, Rolex models, that you will get it, because the most crazy thing is you have thousands of dollars, Swiss francs, euros, or whatever currency ready to spend, and you can't spend the money because you don't get the watch. That's pretty silly anyhow. Hello from the Florida Keys, William Rizzo. Believe me, I would like to be in the Florida Keys actually now because we have horrible weather here. We had a storm today with some winds up to 150 kilometers an hour. It's raining, it's cold, it's horrible weather here. So I would very much like to be in the Florida Keys and yes, go diving, water skiing, fishing with you, what else, and so on. Is that a shower next to you? And if so, would you wear a Rolex Submariner in the shower? Why not wearing a Rolex Submariner in the shower? The watch is absolutely waterproof, 300 meters. It has a screwed crown, so there's absolutely no risk to damage the watch in the shower. The only thing you can, how you could damage the watch in the shower is by taking it off of your wrist and dropping it to the floor. This could probably harm the watch, but with water, believe me, my friend, there's no way of harming a Rolex Submariner under a shower. No way. What do you think about the Longines Hydro Conquest? Good value? Oh, what? Good value? Sensational value. This is a watch that really outperforms in terms of quality, haptics, and the price, of course. That's a really gorgeous watch. And I heard these watches are pretty hard to get because they are sold out everywhere. So good luck of getting one. No, that's a perfect watch, no doubt. Will you, Dustin van Patten says, will you please visit Roger W. Smith and showcase good watches? I don't know Roger W. Smith watches. I have to apologize. Regarding Michael Freelund says, regarding in-house, Swatch Group owns ETA and Rolex owns a small company making their small company. I could be wrong. So in-house, if within the group of companies of your own. Okay, Michael, to make that clear, Rolex is manufacturing everything from A to Z in-house. Maybe not the crocodile straps on their Cellini watches. These straps might come from somewhere else than Switzerland. But no, they are manufacturing really everything themselves, and they're even having their own gold alloy. They are melting their gold, and Rolex is a huge manufacturer, has a huge own in-house manufacturing plant for the movements, and they are not in Geneva but in Biel in Switzerland. That's in the German part of Switzerland. And Biel is exclusively delivering all the movements to Geneva, where those movements are assembled then to become an entire watch. But Rolex is a huge manufacturer, as you mentioned also ETA. ETA is part of the Swatch Group, and ETA is the in-house manufacturer of the Swatch Group, and ETA delivers all the movements the Swatch Group needs. Some of those watches are also sold to third parties if they are allowed to do so. As you probably heard, the COMCO, the Commission, has issued some strange things about those ETA movements recently. But I don't want to go in that detail here. It's going to be too complicated. Why did you start a watch channel? Have you worked in the industry previously? Federico from Federico Talks Watches used to work for Cartier. I just answered the question first with my career. I hope you heard it. Nihal, hey, I am the guy who commented about you cutting and talking over the host to the Omega Seamaster video. Don't get me wrong, I love your work and personality, but sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. I know this is how it happens when you are live and when you're in discussion, and sometimes also you have to, and this is something I will still continue to do in the future, you still have to bring your guest and the person you're talking to in the right direction, and then sometimes you have to stop him talking about things you probably don't want to hear and bring him to the next thought he probably has lost or didn't think about having it. So yes, sometimes I am intervening. There are many reasons I'm doing this. Maybe I do not think to, I don't think, maybe I do it by purpose, but I excuse myself. I'm sorry, guys, this happens. Cartier and favorite new, what is this? Someone is asking, what is this? Someone has posted the same question. WatchTube has posted the same question, I think, I don't know how often. What, wait, before I answer this, Dustin van Patten asked me, favorite new integrated bracelet on Sportwatch? I couldn't say if I have a favorite new integrated bracelet on a Sportwatch. As long the design is good with the entire watch, it's okay. I don't have any favorites here. Difficult question. I can't answer. So now, WatchTube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 times asking the same question. What happened, my friend? 22 times asking the same question. So I will read out the question now. What you think about the IWC Caliber 89 watch as a classic watch and a 20th century watch movement? So can you please tell me why you have been posting this so often? The Caliber 89 IWC is an iconic movement, I would say. And if you are in the lucky position to own such a watch, please take good care of it. Bring it to a qualified watchmaker to service it on a regular basis, because such an old movement needs to be serviced much more often than a modern movement. And watch as a classic watch and the 20th century watch movement. Yes, yes, yes. I can answer all these questions with yes. This is nothing I would consider to be old or outdated or no longer accurate or no longer good. If you are if you are possessing one of those wonderful Caliber 89 movements in an IWC watch, take good care of the watch. As I just told you, bring it to the watchmaker and take good care. You are really having something very, very, very special. So then watch tube one more time, please. Yeah. I don't understand why he was posting that so often. Okay. Please interview Ming. Yes, I will do this. I will do this. Promised. It's on my to-do list, and I am very much interested also. I already answered what I think about Grand Cycle. Wait, it jumped again. What happened here? I hate it. Sorry, guys. When you touch the mouse, all of a sudden you don't find your comment anymore. You just been working on. Okay. When do you think you will first see an Ed White 321 in real life? I think in the next 3 months. Very clearly. They are finishing those watches. They are in production, and I think they're just waiting until they have been manufactured a certain quantity of those watches to be able to deliver enough watches to the market. And I think the next 3 to 4 months they will be there. So this was about the 321 Omega. This is a good one. Orange Hand says, sorry, I missed it. What was the watch tubes question? What was it? I like it. I love it. Very nice. Larry, hi from Belgium. Do you think it was a good idea from Patek Philippe to change the quality? You already answered this. I'm watching this live from Thailand. I see Remy. Hello and welcome from Vienna. Michael, is Ulysse Nardin still #1 in Russia? Michael Freeland? No, I don't think so. This was as long as Rolf Schneider was the CEO and owner of the brand, because he did an excellent job in Russia, and he was there before the Russian market opened and the entire Russian, let's say, style of living become more Westernly. And meanwhile, no, there are other brands that are much more popular than Ulysse Nardin. And anyhow, what Ulysse Nardin is doing actually, I have no words for it. Sorry, but I have no words. If Rolf Schneider would see that, I don't know what he would do. Then coronavirus is everywhere, and epidemic in Thailand. Economy is crashing. Yeah, this can happen, of course. And I just said before, hopefully we will be able to stop this pandemic very soon, and we will get back to normality. This is all what we deserve here on Earth. I can't say anything else than this. Do you think Stealth Ninja 838 asked me, do you think Swatch will continue to withhold their ETA movements to brands outside of their company? This is a very political question, and depends on not only on what ETA and the Swatch Group wants to do, but also on what the Comco in Switzerland is telling them to do. I hope the grey dealers get coronavirus, and Tony Lee says, I hope the grey dealers get coronavirus and the prices return to normal. Not a bad idea. If they could do kind of a mutation of that coronavirus, that those people are not really harmed by the virus, but the only thing they are doing is they are retyping or rewriting their prices in the shop windows. I would agree that they should all get the that kind of virus. Otherwise, no. I don't know really, but the most due brand in Russia is Tudor. Yes, I think Tudor is doing pretty well in Russia. I've heard that Zenit is doing well, Hublot is doing well, and yeah, of course Rolex, of course, but the brands there, yeah, Tudor. I would say yes, Tudor is doing well. Then ID guy says, love your content, Alexander. Wouldn't it be cool if Omega relaunches a mid-size 38 to 39 millimeter Seamaster Professional this year? Mid-size Seamaster, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, even if I would know, all the information would still be under embargo, and I would not be allowed to say anything. So we will have to wait a little more until we get this information. What's in your personal collection? Some wristwatches. No, I never talk about my personal collection because it's my collection, and I am not. I'm not sharing these kind of things with the public. That's my private collection. Sorry, I can't answer. There are some wristwatches there, and yes, I'm collecting wristwatches, but I will not talk too much about it. The only thing I'm saying is that I'm a big fan of the Omega Speedmaster. Yes, is it true that Vulcan has gone under? Last I checked, the website was active. Yeah, I have no idea, honestly speaking. I have heard both. If the website is still active, this could mean that they are still there, but it also could mean that they are still selling some old stocks. I don't know. Parash Shakya asked me, just wanted to ask you quick advice. I have an FP Journe Souverain Tourbillon, and I wanted to ask if Journe watches or Tourbillon watches are very fragile. Any let's say any complication or any watch that is not at the type of watch like a Seamaster, a Panerai, Rolex Submariner, Sea Dweller, or what else, or a watch that is meant to be a tool watch that you can use for purposes under and above the water, for adventures and so on, are fragile. And a tourbillon is of course much more fragile than a regular Swiss lever escapement, and an FP Journe, since an FP Journe is encased in a precious metal case, is more fragile. So personally, I would use the watch very normally on your wrist, wear it on a daily basis, but I would not stress the watch too much, because I am not sure that this watch will like such stress so much. But this generally has nothing to do with FP Journe. This is will also apply to any other fabric, any other manufactured watch, either from Germany, Switzerland, or whatever the watch may come from. So the more complicated the watches are, the more fragile they are, and the more you should take care of them. Charlusso, Cartier seems to have silently discontinued the Calibre diver. Do you think they'll be coming out with a replacement this year? This is a good question. I have noticed this myself. The Calibre diver I personally liked very much, and I don't know what they're doing. Honestly, the Calibre diver for me was one of the few Cartier watches that was really not too feminine. It was a pretty masculine watch. It was, in terms of thickness, a very thin watch. It was a certified diver by ISO and DIN, so it was not a gimmick watch. It was a really certified diver. Cartier really invested a lot of technology in the watch, and I was also pretty surprised to learn and to know yes, that they are probably discontinuing the watch. I don't know. Maybe the watch didn't sell because it's not the segment of Cartier, and it's of course difficult because you need to re-educate people to buy such a watch. And as you all know, Cartier is more, let's say, a watch that is worn by a woman and less by men, and only few styles of men watches are popular by men. So it is difficult for them. It is difficult. What do you think about Louis Monnier? I don't know. I'm not into Louis Monnier very much, honestly. The Girard-Perregaux, Stephen Vogt asks me, the Girard-Perregaux Laureato au Glace Hütte Original 70s Pano Date or Aquaterra Blue Dial. Oh, very difficult, very difficult. I very much like the Girard-Perregaux Laureato because this is a watch that, in my opinion, belongs to those SOVs on the wrist, like the Engineer of IWC, like the Nautilus, like the Overseas, and also the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. So I like the Laureato Glace Hütte Original 70s Pano Date. Is also a very, very nice watch, so I can't say anything against it. And the Aquaterra, yeah, same, nice watch. Best, I always recommend in such a case is, if you have the opportunity or if you have the possibility, go to a retailer that has all the free brands. In stock, and you should try those watches and see, and then buy emotionally. Buy what your heart says in a moment, what your head says, and buy the watch you feel attracted most to, and then you will make the right decision. The more you think and the more you get it, and more you try to reduce it on a rational base, the less fun you will have with the watch. Let me see. Then with the conciliation, then Mosquito says, love your content, sir. Thank you very much. I'm happy to read that. Henry says, I was told by one Lange authorized dealer in the US that they had been allocated only one Odysseus for 2020. Just wondering why Lange had no properly prepared their production ahead of a major release. Any insights? I think this probably is the situation in the first months of the year 2020 for most of the ADs, authorized dealers, that they only get one. I've heard something similar here in Vienna, that the authorized dealers only get one to start off. I think they need to ramp up their production for the watch. And as you know, at Lange, the movements are assembled always twice. So once the entire movement is ready and assembled, they dismantle the movement, reassemble it. And this takes a lot of time, and the capacities have not been increased at Lange & Söhne. There are not more watchmakers. There are not more people assembling those watches. It's just that they have been introducing a new collection. Among others, they already have, and I think this will lead to the fact, as you have been told, that those watches will be very rare in the beginning, and it will probably take 1 year or two until they are able to deliver those quantities they need to satisfy their demand. Hello from East Germany. I like your channel. Yes, hello back. But is there still an East Germany? Is it just a reunited big Germany? Yeah, I would say hello from Germany. The McEnroe says great content here. Thank you. Hi everyone. Says Jason M. Mosquito says I'm in Moscow right now and the weather is horrendous. I can imagine that. Oh yeah, wow, thank you very much. The McEnroe put in 10 Swiss francs and says, keep up the great work, Alex. Thanks. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much for those 10 Swiss francs. I'm happy to have them. And thank you for following. And please, if you are happy about what I'm doing and what we're doing, tell others that they should quickly come and join our big community and subscribe to our channel and be there as you guys out there are already. So let's come back. To where I have been. Yes. The next question is purchased. Jason M is asking, purchased the new Seamaster 300 and love it. I would like to add a dress watch, either a Jaeger Ultra Reverso, and if so, is it worth paying extra to get the Duoface or Rolex Datejust? If you have been buying the Seamaster 300, I honestly would go for the Jaeger Ultra Reverso. Because if you are into rectangular watches, and it seems so, this is the beautifulest one you can get. There's no other one I would ever consider to buy than a Reverso. The Reverso Duoface, yes, adds another second dial if you are turning it around. Could be an idea. What I would then guess is to have a second zone time on the other face of the watch. If you are traveling, this could be cool because you just turn around the Reverso in its case, and then you have a second time zone indicated on a watch. And if it's more that you're looking for a dress watch, I would go for a very let's say, reduced one, the freehand one without running second, and use the empty part of the case to probably have an engraving there, or to have something engraved or enameled in there. This could look gorgeous. If you have anything that could fit there, I would do that and buy a very let's say, reduced and simple Reverso, and wear this one as a dress watch. I purchased a new Seamaster. Yeah. Thank you. Then Jason M. Frederick Blum, could you please give us some insights why and how Glashütte has become the German hub for watchmaking? Oh, this is a long story. I think we will have to go back in the history of Glashütte, and this will be a long story to tell. And I think this will be too much for the moment. But what I could imagine is to bring a video about the history of Glashütte and the history of watchmaking there, where it came from, and how the entire industry changed over the years, what happened during the Second World War and after Second World War, and so on, and how the watches or the companies got out after the fall of the Iron Curtain and the opening up of the eastern part of Germany and the reunion of eastern and western part of Germany. This could be a nice video. I think I put that in the pipeline. Then someone is asking, Alex, why is the 007 Seamaster so much more expensive than the regular 300 diver? This is pretty easy to explain. First of all, it's a titanium grade 2 case. It has a boxed sapphire sapphire glass. It has pretty much of engravings. It is sandblast. It has a sandblasted case. The Super Luminova and the indexes are pretty expensive to make the way they did it. The mesh bracelet is also pretty expensive to manufacture, and on top, the brand or Omega has to pay some royalties to the family, to Broccoli, the daughter of Broccoli, the man who was writing the first James Bond novels, and she owns the rights on Bond, and I think those royalties are also pretty expensive. That's the reason, and of course, because it is a watch that is affiliated with the Bond movie, and probably that's a price a broader public is willing to pay. So these might, or these are the reasons, but I think a little portion is also the royalty fees Omega has to pay to the Broccoli family for having the 007 logo, James Bond name, etc. licensed. Yes, then, dear Alexander, what do you think about the IWC 3227 Engineer? Oh my goodness, I would so much love that the old Engineer of IWC Schaffhausen would be back. The IWC Engineer was really, let's say, used to become a watch that is no longer an Engineer, but more, let's say, a fancy watch with some fancy dials. And there were limited editions from AMG Mercedes and a limited edition from left and right. So I would very, very much recommend Christoph Granger-Herr, the CEO of IWC, to go back in the archives, look at the heritage of the fabulous Engineer, starting with the reference 666, and to really bring out 100% Engineer as we used to see it and used to have it, being anti-magnetic, being a tool watch, showing the time with a very strong contrast on the dial and so on, and being just a fabulous, fabulous tool watch. That's what I would say about the Engineer. Stop all those gimmick Engineers if you want to hear it in a clear and easy way. Mike Wilcox asks me, do you like watching Archie Luxury? Honestly, I have not been watching any Archie Luxury so far, and I'm not planning it. Okay. Good evening, Watch Advisor. Love your approach on watches and YouTube. Thank you very much. Werner Yak saying this. Mosquito, what is your favorite car brand? I already answered it. It's Audi and Alfa Romeo. Hello from New York City, Kevin S. Yes. Andreas Demos knows, if you could buy any Rolex up to 15,000 euro, what would you choose? If I could buy any Rolex up to 15,000 euros, which one would I choose? I personally would choose, if they are going to do one, the new Explorer, because I very much like watches that show a second zone time. I very much also like the GMT, but I own a vintage Pepsi GMT, so there's no need for me to buy another GMT. So I would probably buy, if it will come to the markets this year, the next version of the Explorer with a white dial, and I assume that this watch will be positioned around 9,000 euros or something like this. So it will be in the price range you asked me, and this will be the watch I would buy. I very much like the Explorer today with the white dial, and I probably would buy this one. Okay. What do you think about the Glashütte Original Sport Evolution chronograph? Is that a good value on the pre-owned market? Looks like one can be had for around $4,500 US. Yes, the Sport Evolution, if you can get one for the money, go for it. You can't do anything wrong, believe me. That's really something you can buy, and you get a really, really good watch. Be sure to have it serviced, to have it checked if everything is okay with it in terms of being waterproof and so on. If the movement is in good conditions, and if this is the case, go for it. You can't make anything wrong. Yep. Any hope for new Jaeger LeCoultre Duomètre complications? The upcoming Geneva Fair. Honestly, I don't know. But would be nice. The Duomètre is a very particular and very special watch and a very particular technology, using two different gears, gear trains, and escapements that are working simultaneously in one watch. My goodness. I've been talking for 1.5 hours. So, excuse me. But yes, I would like to see one. Why not? Kevin has thoughts on the Glashütte Original CQ divers, gorgeous watches. The only thing I can say, when the one with the Panorama Datum, aka big date indication in English, with the blue dial, is so gorgeously good looking. So yeah, why not? If you're interested in it, take the watch, put it on your wrist, and you will see it's a nice watch. If you have the wrist size and you can wear the Panorama Datum, go for it. And also the small one is a nice one, but the CQ diver with the blue dial, whoa, for me, very, very beautiful. What do you think about Frank Müller, Vanguard, Glacier? Can't see anything because I'm not very familiar with what Frank Müller is doing. Should the Swatch Group refine their collection and sell off some of their brands and focus on just a few? Dustin for patent. No, why should they do it? The entire range of the Swatch Group is perfectly covering the entire market, from Breguet on top, down with Blancpain, with Harry, Winston, and so on, with Omega, with Longines, Certina, Hamilton, Tissot, Mido, and so on, and down until Swatch. Why should they? No, they don't have to do that. I don't think it makes any sense, and they are really delivering excellent quality and a good value for money, so they are doing a good job. What I am still looking for is that Swatch Group will finally come out with their own operating system, meaning that they will have a smartwatch that will be able to connect either to the Android or the iOS world of Apple, and to function in a proper way with those tools of smartphones, and be a generic or a origin, Swatch Group origin operating system. That's something I am missing. Which living person associated with horology have you not interviewed but would be top of your list to interview? Honestly, I have been talking to everyone in the industry so far, but interviewing and publishing an interview would be fine, doing it with Johann Rupert, the owner of Richemont. And since Jean-Fred Dufour, who was formerly the CEO of Zenith, and we did some fantastic interviews and we had a lot of fun doing them, I would very, very much like to interview Jean-Fred Dufour, being the CEO of Omega. Oh my goodness. Stop back. I would very much like to interview Jean-Fred Dufour, being the CEO of Rolex, of course, and may publish this interview, but this will never ever happen, because that's the policy of Rolex, that they are not publishing any interviews. And it's the same with Johann Rupert. It's pretty difficult to get him in front of a microphone, and even more difficult to get him in front of a camera and to interview him. So this would be gorgeous, but I think it would be very hard to do. But yeah, this will be those persons I would probably like to interview. Everyone watching this live stream, give thumbs up for Alexander, thumbs back to best audience in the world. Honestly, I am very much impressed of you all out there. And thank you very much. I have to say this spontaneously. Thank you very much for following what I'm doing, what we're doing, for being there, for commenting, it's fantastic. You are the best audience in the world. My thumbs up to you guys. Thank you very much. Yes. Then here, thoughts on original. No. Wait. We have to come back here. What would you pick up between? I have to scroll through quickly. Yes. Do you think brands watch? Do you think big brands watch YouTube? Do understand the customers and their needs? This is a very good question. I hope they are going to watch more YouTube. I hope that they are listening, that they are reading more the comments, that what you are saying, because this is very important. And I encourage you to even use the comment section more often on the channel, because I think the more you comment, the more you speak out what is okay and not okay, the more they probably will understand, the brands will understand what they probably should do or not do. The only thing I don't want to have here is bashing or having harsh comments. I adore and I admit that I am very open for any comment, as long you are writing politely, as you are arguing correctly, that you're trying to find arguments and not only bashing or just trying to do some psycho-hygienic cleaning of your head by typing in some harsh and rude words in that comment section. Anyhow, I delete them. And which one, Dominic Bertil asks me, and which one of them has the best? Wait, he asks two questions. What would you pick between a Jaeger LeCoultre versus Mars Second, Hublot Classic Fusion Black Magic, Cartier Santos Large, and a Jacques Hidro Quantième de Seconde? Oh, boom. Which one of them has the best value for your money in terms of quality? Oh my goodness, this is you should probably call me. Dominic, do me a favor. This is going too far here. You will find my email address in by going on the YouTube by finding out about this channel. There you will find my email address. Please shoot me an email. And I will see that I get on the phone with you and we can discuss this. It's really will be too big. It will take too much time. But you find my email address. It's there. Shoot me an email. Remind me of the fact that you were asking these questions. And yeah, I wish I get on the phone. That can't be so difficult. Have you ever been on... Dustin van Patten, have you ever been on the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie jury member? Yes, I quit the thing and I recently accepted an invitation to get back as a jury member on the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie, so we'll see what happens. Have you tried... Ian Spa asked me, have you tried repairing watches yourself? I have not tried to repair them, but I learned with the possibilities some brands gave me to dismantle and reassemble watches. I've learned to do this, and it was very interesting, but only by doing and by seeing how tiny some of the components of a watch movement are, you really understand how such a movement works and why there are levers, wheels, pinions, and all the other components in such a movement. But I'm not able to repair a watch, and I understand how they work and how they function. And if I dismantle a watch and if there's someone helping me, I can reassemble such a watch. I learned to not shake my fingers too much and to be concentrated in screwing in those tiny little screws without scratching them and so on. But I would probably be able to repair a watch if someone would teach me, but I'm not doing it. No, I have a friend who is doing it for me, and he is a really good watchmaker. So What new watch would you want to see from Lange? What would you have done if you were head of design of CEO? In the moment, they're doing fine. They have there is the Odysseus, as I just mentioned some minutes before. They are having difficulties in delivering enough pieces of the Odysseus. I think there's no need for them to bring out any new watch at all. So maybe some variations in their existing collections, but I don't see any need for them to bring out any new watch. Yes, someone from Russia obviously asked me. Wait, where is it? I just lost it again. Yeah, someone from Russia. I can't read the name. Please apologies. 8:10 p.m. What watch do you suggest for the first watch at the price point at 3,000 francs? Only new from box, not as a used one. 3,000 Swiss francs. I would very much look into brands like Hamilton, like Certina, like Mido, like Longines, like Frédéric Constant, Alpina, because there you get value for money, and honestly speaking, you can't do anything wrong. So if you are interested buying such a watch, these will be the brands I very much recommend you. The Swatch Group, entry price levels, and Frédéric Constant and Alpina in Geneva are also a good guess if they are available in your market. Will you ever interview watch collectors? This will be or would be very interesting to do. Let me, Dustin. Let me grow that community a little bit longer. Let us grow all together to become, let's say, a really nice and strong community. And then with the fact that this year we will have several digital to analog events, where we will invite you to join for a very special event. There will be one with Tag Heuer, and another one, but Tag Heuer is fixed already. We are just figuring out when it will be, but and I get to know those members of the community closer, and if there is someone who has a nice collection, it would be fantastic to do it and to have an open discussion about watches. Yes, it is possible, and I'm very much looking into it. And if there is anybody out there who has probably a nice watch collection and is able to do a nice YouTube video about his watch collection, or willing to do it, or talk about special watches, you're always welcome. And I'm serious about that. You're always welcome to contact me. And I have absolutely no problem to put your video online on our channel. If you are enthusiastic about watches, if you have something to tell, a history to tell, or some personal stories, and you bring on a good YouTube video, please feel free, feel welcome to contact me. And I'm very, very, very much ready to put such a video online, always. Good. Then what we have to go here. What's your take on Lange 1 with a solid case back? Early Lange 1s with a solid case back. What exactly is the question? Michael Freeland asked me, growing more as a fan of Blancpain, but I find the 50 Fathoms GMT dial rather busy and lacking of a bit of elegance. What is your view regarding it? The 50 Fathom dials I do enjoy, other 50 dials I do enjoy. The 50 Fathoms, the original version of the Blancpain 50 Fathoms, is a tool watch that was conceived to be a watch that was used by army divers, French army special forces, and those dials, of course, were designed for perfect readability. But if you go and you bring in more complications and functions on a dial, of course, the readability gets poorer. But this is something that is not only happening with a Blancpain, that will happen to any other watch. in general, the original design of Blancpain is very good one, and the readability of those watches is simply perfect. Yeah, there's nothing else to say. Yai Shri Ram Hodinki is both a watch journalist group and watch dealer. What are your thoughts on this matter regarding the conflict of interest? You already gave yourself the answer. There is a huge, for me, a huge conflict of interest in what they're doing. So on the one hand side, they are journalists or they are talking about watches, and on the other hand side, excuse me, they are selling different watches, and of course they will do everything to speak right and communicate correctly about the watches they want to sell. And for me, this is kind of an interest, and I am not very, it's their way, as I told earlier here. They have found their way. My friend Waco has found his way of doing his YouTube channel and his work. And me and my team here at Watch Advisor, we are going to find our way. And I think there's space for all the three of us, all the big ones. And yes, there is a conflict of interest. I would say yes. What do I think about the Longines Big Eye? It's a fantastic chronograph. If you are interested in, I very much recommend you go and buy it. It's a beautiful watch. Any future plans for visiting Beauvais and Fleurier? Not in the moment, honestly speaking. And wait. It jumped again here. I don't like this. It always jumps around here. I'm looking to the time. It's 20 minutes to 9 o'clock. Another 20 minutes, and then I will have to really stop here because we are going, unless continuing, about 2 hours, and this is more than enough. We will do that again very soon. Thanks for answering my questions. Yes, going quickly through some questions. What do you think about Jacob & Co? Nothing. Clearly answered, nothing. Persons to interview. How about the super talented man at Agenor? Yes, Jean-Marc Wiederrecht and his son. This could be very interesting indeed. I know Jean-Marc Wiederrecht for a long time, and we are, I would say, friends, and I know his son, who is a very talented young watchmaker. Yes, this could be interesting. The only problem is that Jean-Marc doesn't speak English, so we will have to synchronize everything, and this makes the thing a little bit more complicated, but thank you, a good idea. About the Piaget Polar, Alex is asking Alex, and what do you think about the Piaget Polar S, and are they presenting a new version tie year because the bracelet is so-so? The Polo S is not a watch I really very much liked from the very first moment I saw it. It's a watch that has too much similarities with other existing designs, and I wished that Piaget would have been able to give that watch more authentic Piaget design, and to avoid the watch to look, let's say, very much like some other watches in the same segment of some other brands. The future about Nomos, I already answered before. Do you know if the Rolex... This is Igor Radvich. You are a cynical guy. Do you know if the Rolex authorized dealers in Wuhan has a steel sport watch available? And what if he would have one? You wouldn't get in there because Chinese government has completely blocked those who are in Wuhan to get out of the city, and those who want to get in the city. And there is no one flying to China anymore because all major air travel companies have stopped their flights to China. I don't know. And in case there would be one, I would recommend the authorized dealers to lock it in his safe and wait until hopefully that virus will disappear very soon, and to sell it to someone who deserves it. End of the day. Christopher, greetings from New York. Honestly, your channel is amazing. Christopher Day, honestly, your channel is amazing. Excellent content and fascinating interviews. Thank you for taking time to speak with us, Christopher. I really enjoy what I'm doing. Believe me, otherwise I wouldn't do it. And it is kind of, the quintessence of what I have been doing for the last 30 years. Being a watch aficionado, passionate, working for a retailer, being a shop manager, developing a retail store for a jeweler, then being a journalist, first on paper, then going digital and so on. And what I'm doing today is just, squeezing out everything I learned into videos and into live chats and entertaining you and answering you the questions and hopefully being a good host for you and giving you what you deserve, good information, some fun and some, good moments. Yes, thank you very, very, very much for the compliment. Thank you, Christopher. I would like you to interview Arnold Schwarzenegger and to explore his watch collection. Yes, this could be interesting. Hasn't Hodinkee done this before? If Benjamin has done it, I wouldn't like to do it again because this would be a copy and paste thing, and I'm not so much in copy and paste things. But if Arnold, would be nice. It would be the coolest thing would be to have Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, both of them, sitting and showing their jumbo watches. You know, those. Look, I have the bigger one, and Arnold will say, no, Sly, I have the bigger one. That would be fun. Then DB greetings from Warwickshire. Sir, given the hype on Sotheby's, Daytonas, and the rest, I strained from the crown, but there's a particular 36 no one's talking about. I'd like your opinion on simply 36mm Rolex watches. If you are able to get one, and if you like those, go for it. You never can do anything wrong by buying a Rolex because you know the quality is good, everything is simply good. So if there's nothing wrong with it, absolutely not. So go for it. Go. I can't say anything else. Big fan, Alex. What are your thoughts on Girard-Perregaux, Juan Olmos? Juan, I just said before, Girard-Perregaux is a fantastic brand. I very much like the Laureato, and I also like what they're doing. Hopefully the brand gets more attention in the next years and will be more in the highlight, more in the spotlight, I wanted to say, and highlighted by my friends, colleagues, journalists, and also highlighted by collectors and so on. Girard-Perregaux is a fantastic brand, always was, and Gino Macaluso, who was the guy who really brought back the brand after the quartz crisis. He did an amazing job, and I can't say more than this. Horological content on your channel. Eric Brehm, hi Alex, great horological content on your channel. Where would you locate Zenith as a brand in the watch game concerning the watch's quality compared to e.g. Rolex? Look, Zenith is absolutely underscored, is absolutely underestimated. Zenith would deserve to be much more sexy, much more looked after, much more recognized, and so on and so on. The quality of the watches is absolutely without any flaw. The El Primero chronograph, the Elite automatic movement are fantastic movements. And, it's so difficult to compare Zenith with an Omega, with a Rolex, with IWC, so on. All these watches, all of them, are playing in the upper league, are playing in a segment where the differences are minimal, and it's more or less what you want. It's an emotional decision you should take when you buy the watch. Don't be rational. Buy what you want, and I can assure you, if you buy a Zenith, you will get top quality. You will get value for money. And if you buy a Zenit, maybe you will have to explain some of the history of the watch because it will not have the same recognition as an Omega, as a Rolex or other watches. But this might be big fun if you wear a Zenit to tell a story and to maybe encourage some others to buy such a watch and to be kind of a let's say communicator or someone who is also doing something in terms of telling a story about the watch. Yes, I'm a fan of Zenit. I have to admit, I'm a Zenit fan. I am a fan of Zenit. It's 10 to 9. I've been talking for 2 hours and 40 minutes, so I'm getting tired now. I saw the new IWC Pilot Spitfire chronograph. Do you think IWC will offer this new model with a blue dial? Oh, my goodness. Spitfire chronographs of IWC are not my favorite watches, I have to admit. I don't like them because the Spitfire is a collection that is taken from the Flieger chronograph and is a lifestyle collection and no longer a pilot's watch. But if they are coming, if they should have come out with a blue dial, why not? They have been doing other colors already, so why not having also a blue dial? But at the end of the day, I'm not a big fan of that Spitfire collection. Wait, I have to just find the way where I was. It is always hello from Texas, Captain Z. Hello from Vienna. Hello from Melbourne. Oh my goodness, the world is here. It's fantastic. I like this medium YouTube so much because everybody's watching around the world. And we are a huge community, and I just would be curious to know which nationalities just attended this 2-hour session today, and probably half of the world was there. Fantastic. So hello from Melbourne. Enjoy your channel and sense of humor. Keep up the good work. I promise I do. I saw the new I look from Italy. Giorgio, buonasera, buonasera, sono contento che sei qua. Yes, l'Italia, il paese degli orologi, come sempre. Regarding China, why not buy from gray market when you get the same guarantee of service? The only answer is don't buy from gray market. Don't buy from gray market. Don't try to argue with me. I just tell you don't buy from gray market. Does Eichbot have any spot in the modern history of watches? I don't know. Difficult. The watch game. Hi, Alex. A very nice channel. Your opinion, what is the best speedy associated to the moon landing theme? I don't know what to buy. Big fan of moon landing. Buy the original, the most original piece they have. That is still made in the original size, that still has the original hand-wound movement. If you still can get one of those, go and buy it. Yeah, the 1861 ex-Lemania movement, go and buy one of those. This is really the one you should have. Does Jean Richard still exist as a brand? I don't know. I think they disappeared. La Terrascope collection was a nice last collection. I remember the watches, but I don't think the brand exists anymore. I doubt. If you had to choose between the Longines Legion Diver and the Limited Heritage Military, I think the Legend Diver, go for the Legend Diver. This is an absolutely cool watch, but this is my personal taste. But okay, never mind. It's also the Heritage Military 1938 is a nice watch, but I would go for the Legend Diver. Okay. Matt Parker may have been asked before, but if you could only buy from one brand, what would it be? Omega Speedmaster. Then thanks again for talking with us. Looking forward for more content. Yes, I will be back for sure. Giorgio, he is looking from Italy, and I'm 13 years old. Come on. Incredibile. This is really a big fan. If you're 13 and looking what I'm doing, hey, mille grazie. That's very cool. Very, 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 very cool. Alex, what do you think of tantalum, and what is your opinion in its controversial status as a conflict resource? Oh my goodness, I don't know. That's too complicated, and still I have to admit I'm a bit tired since I've been talking almost for 2 hours now. Let's take this to the next round of discussion. Please be so kind and ask me again. Thanks, Miss Lind. Good talk. Okie dokie. Yes. Yes. Thank you too for watching. I'm happy that you've been here. Dan Spohn, hello from South Carolina, United States of America. Any thoughts on Panerai? I said it before. Panerai is fantastic. It's a gorgeous brand. Very authentic. I'm repeating myself, but I am more than happy to do that again. Very authentic brand, and yes, if you have the size, if you have the wrist size, if you have the wrist size, the correct wrist size, go for it. It's a good brand. You get really a fantastic watch. Good. What I mean. Dominic Bertil, you asked me to email you, but it is the same as on Instagram. What is happening? Yeah. No. You will find my email address in the section on YouTube where our channel is described. And yes, the email address is alexander@watchadvisor.com. Okay, there it is. Is there a helium escape valve on my watch? Yes, there is a helium escape valve on my watch because I'm wearing the Planet Ocean Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean GMT watch, and there is a helium escape valve. Yes. So, vielen Dank, Herr Linz. Thanks for answering my questions, for the great content. Yes, thank you, all of you out there, for watching. I'm looking on my clock. It says another 4 minutes. Let's make it until 9 o'clock and then stop for today because I'm getting tired now, talking almost 2 hours. And I assume that some of you already went to bed or have something else to do. This is, yeah. There is a comment that I want to read out. What this message is held for review. I'm not reading out. Someone just said he said bye bye because he has to. He went to do something with his girlfriend or wife. Fun. Yes, Dalalam, I have like this. Also, vielen Dank. Yes, what's your opinion of the scarcity of falls of Rolex watches and the huge premiums? Oh my! This is Matt. The entire Rolex phenomenon is hard. Is on the one hand easy to explain because if you have a demand of 2 million watches and Rolex is only able to manufacture 1 million watches, so they could sell twice as much watches. There is more demand, and so higher prices on the secondary market are easily made by people buying watches and not being a client but a reseller and trying to resell the watches they just got from an official retailer for a surplus on the gray or apparel market. What I hope and what I very much would like to see is that this would quickly have an end and that everybody pays the correct price for Rolex at the Rolex authorized dealers. Those watches have a price. This price is reflecting what Rolex thinks they thinks Rolex should ask for the watch, reflecting the quality, the make, the positioning of the brand, etc., etc. And if a watch, e.g., costs 9,000 and is resold for 18,000 and plus, the watch is not worth 18,000 euros or 18,000 Swiss francs, but 9,000 Swiss francs. And I I really hope that this whole stupid thing will very, very quickly stop, and this artificially hype will just stop, break down and stop. Yes. What to... last question on this Matt Parker. Yeah, well said. Yeah, it's true. Matt, it's true. It's an absolutely stupid thing. How can one be so silly? And I don't get the point. You know, how can one be so silly and buy a GMT Master for, let's not double, more than double of the price? What's the purpose of doing it? Don't buy it. Simply don't buy it. Go for something else. If you can't get a Speedmaster, a GMT Master, go for a Seamaster, Speedmaster, go for any other watch. If you can get a Submariner, go for another watch. Wait, those phenomenons will have an end very soon, because Rolex is very much working on it. It is just a matter of time until you will have normal selling and buying again. That's all I can say. Rolex Daytona white gold panda dial for list price. What do you think? What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't get the question here. Tony Lee says, "Bravo, Alexander, on your live broadcast. Thank you for answering so many questions." Yeah, I think yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Please forgive me out there that after 2 hours of intense reading and answering all your questions, I now will like to stop at this point. I will come back with another Ask Me Anything very soon. I think we should do this on a regular basis, and you should spread the information to your friends and neighbors and all watch aficionados out there that they should come in, join in, ask questions, and that we have a very, very good time again. But for now, I am thirsty, first of all, a little bit hungry too. And yes, I think I will have a nice Corona, but not virus, but beer. I will have a Corona, put in some lime, and enjoy the rest of my evening. Yeah, for you out there, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned. We have a lot of content coming up in the next months, weeks. And yeah, please be also active in the comment section. Try to get in contact with me as much as you can. And be prepared for some digital to analog events this year. We will try to figure out something that will be interesting for you, so you can come meet me, meet the company CEOs and engineers, watchmakers, and you will have some fun out there. Okay, so for tonight, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, goodbye from Vienna, and see you very, very soon back here on YouTube, Watch Advisor, and thank you very much. And once again, thumbs up. I did it already once. You are the best audience in the world. Bye-bye.